Lesson 8, I will extend the use of place value discs to represent 3 and 4 digit by 1 digit multiplication. So we're going to pretty much just continue what we started in Lesson 7, but this time we're going to be multiplying 3 and 4 digits by 1 digit. So you may have something like 237 times 4, so that's going to be 3 digit times 1 digit, or you may even have up to something like this, 1,237 times 4. So that's going to be 4 digit times 1 digit. So that's what we're going to work on today. So in your math journals, I want you to write today's date, and then I want you to write Lesson 8, multiply 3 and 4 digit by 1 digit, and then when you get that ready, I want you to press play. Today we're going to be doing 2 problems in your math journal. So I want you to go ahead and draw a place value chart just like the one that you see here, and I want you to label 2 times 324 at the top, just like I have. Then I want you to represent 324 times 2, just like we did the other day. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's see if they'll let me do that. Okay, so we're going to do 324 times 2. So I've got 324. That's times 1, and then I'm going to do it again, so it'll be times 2. So 324, 2 times, or times 2. Now, we're going to, underneath our place value chart, we're going to label, just like we did yesterday, an expression that shows the total value that we expressed in the chart. So up here I've got, in the hundreds place, I've got 2 times 3 tens. And then here I've got 2 times, oh, that's not, sorry, that should be hundreds. 2 times 3 hundreds. Plus 2 times 2 tens, plus 2 times 4 1. Then underneath it, I'm going to write the value. So this will be 600 plus 40 plus 8. So besides your place value chart, I want you to go ahead and write this multiplication problem using the standard algorithm partial products. So we've got 324 times 2, so we've got 8, which was 2 times 4 ones, 40, which was 2 times 2 tens, 600, which was 2 times 3 hundreds, equals 648. When you get caught up, press play. Now we're going to try another math problem. Actually, we're not going to do this problem. I'm sorry. We're actually going to move on to this problem because we're going to do this just a little bit different. So don't go ahead. I want you to stop and go with me on this one because we're going to kind of transition to something a little bit easier. All right, so we're going to draw a place value chart. But instead of drawing 851 3 times, this time we're going to start with 3 times 1. Okay, so 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm going to put that in the value chart, just like I did. 3 times 1. Then we're going to draw a line. And this time we're going to do 3 times 5 tens. So what is 3 times 5 tens? So if you think about that, 3 times 5 tens equals 15 tens. And 15 tens is 150. So in our place value chart, we're going to put, underneath our line, we're going to put 150. Now we're going to do 3 times 8 hundreds. So think about that. 3 times 8 hundredths is 24 hundredths. 24 hundredths is 2,400. So in your value chart, you're going to do 2,400. Now we're going to show this in our partial product. So we've got 851 times 3 is 3. Here's 3 times 1. Then here's 5 tens times 3. Here's 8 hundreds times 3. And the total is 2,503. Now we're going to practice the rest of this on our problem set. So go ahead and get your problem set. Go ahead and put your name at the top of your paper, and let's look at the directions. Represent the following expression with disk, regrouping as necessary, writing a matching expression, and recording the partial product vertically as shown. So on the first part of this problem set, we're going to be working on these problems just like we did yesterday. And on the back, we're going to transition to the new way that I just showed you in your journal. First of all, we're going to do 1 times 213. This is going to be pretty easy, right? All right, so we're going to have 2 hundreds, 110, so that's 2 hundreds, 1 times 110, and 1 times 3. So 1 times 3 ones is 3, 1 times 1 is 10, and 1 times 2 hundreds is 200. We get 200. That's just to make sure you understand, okay? Next. Now we're going to do 213 times 2. So we're going to do 213, 1, there's our 200, there's our 10, there's our 3 ones. So that's times 1. Now let's do it times 2. Okay, so there's no regrouping here because I don't have any columns that have more than 10. So over here, 213, 2. Start with my ones. So I have 3 times 2 ones is 6. So I've got 2, and then I've got 20, which is 2 times 1, 10. 4 is 2, 200. That equals 26. I didn't write it underneath here. I think I'm going to skip that extra step, okay? All right, so let's keep on going. Then we're going to have 214 times 3. So we have 214, 2, 4, and we're going to have a little bit of regrouping because you can see right here I have 4, 8, 12. So one of these ones, group them, and we have 10. Now I'm going to go ahead and put right here, just to make sure that I see everything that I have here. I'm going to go ahead and put 600. Here I have 40. Here I have 2. So I have 214 times 3. So I have 3 times 3, 4 ones. 12. And I have 3 times 110. 3 times 2 hundreds. Add it all together. Let's try D. So this time I've got 3 times 1,254. Why don't you try this one by yourself and see how you do? 1,200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's one time. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. That's 2 times. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have some regrouping this time because again, you can see over here, I have 12 ones. So I'm going to start with 10 ones and I'm going to make that into a 10. And now I had 15 ones, now I have 16. So I'm going to circle 10. This one circle these two groups of 5 right here. That 100. I've got 3,000, 2, 4, 6, 700. Count this, I've got 60. So let's see if that's what I get. 254 times 3. 3 times 4 ones, 12. 3 times 5 tens, and that is 150. 3 times 200, 3 times 1,000, add that all together, 62. So they do match up. Okay, now on this page, we're going to do the strategy that we did in our math journals, which I think is a little bit, it's a little bit more mental math, but I think it's a little bit easier to represent. So I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger because it's hard to spell in some directions. But you can see it says, represent the following expressions with disc. Use either method shown during the class. So what that means is you could do it like we were doing before, page, or you can do it like we did in our math journal. So I'm going to do it like we did in our math journals, and you can do it however you choose, but if you want to do it along with me, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to use my tool here to draw me a rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and just draw 4 rectangles. Okay, so this is my place value chart. So, come back up here, pen, 3 columns. It's 3 times 212. So I'm going to go ahead and write over here 212. Remember, instead of go ahead and putting 212 3 times, we were taking 3 times the ones. So 3 times 2 ones is 6 ones. I'm just going to go ahead and put my 6 ones. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to do 3 times 110, which is 30. 1, 2, 3, 30. 3 times 200s, which was 600s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be 30. Do this one. This is going to be hard to draw small. All right, so 4 columns here. I'm going to label above this time. So these are thousands, tens, so I've got 4, 5, 6, 2. So I'm going to start with the ones. So 2 times 6 ones is 12. So that's 110 and 2 ones. Okay, so I've got 12. Now I'm going to do 2 times 3 tens. So 2 times 3 tens is 6 tens. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 60. And then I'm going to do 2 times no hundreds, so I can skip that step. And I'm going to do 2 times 4,000s, which is 8,000s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Together, give me 8,072. If you're feeling pretty comfortable with this method, why don't you go ahead and try to do the next one by yourself and see how you do. Hopefully your drawing, you can make yours a little bit smaller than mine. columns here. $2,046 times 2, or excuse me, 3 times 6 ones. That's 18. So I've got 1. There's my 8 ones. 18. 3 times 4 tens. That's 12 tens, which is going to be 120. I'm doing 3 times 500s, which is 1500s, which is 1,500. 3 times 2,000s, which is 6,000s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, together. I have 8 ones, 3 tens, 600, 7,000, 7,638. You try to do this one by yourself, and if you get stuck, you can always come back and listen. If you don't feel comfortable doing it by yourself, you can do it with me, but I want you to try to at least do part of it by yourself. All right, so here we go. 4 columns. Hopefully it looks neater than mine. Times. Start with 3 times 7 ones, which is 21. So here's my 21. 10, so I can skip the tens, and I'm going to do 3 times 400, which is 12 hundreds. 12 hundreds is 1,200. I do 3 times 500 together. 4,221. Okay, got one more problem left. Every day at the bagel factory, Cindy makes 5 different kinds of bagels. If she makes 144 of each kind, what's the total number of bagels that she makes? So I just read it, now I'm going to draw. So in this case, I'm going to draw a place value chart because that's what we're using here, and I know you don't have a lot of room, so you can make it small. 144 times 5. Tens and 4. Another sentence. So I've got 4 ones times 5, which is going to be 20. And then I've got 5 times 4 tens, which is going to be 200. 5 times 100, which is 5 hundredths. 2, 3, 4, 720. So, what's the total number of bagels she makes? 720.